welcome to Wedding Matters. This is a channel where we discuss everything about wedding. So if you are preparing for your wedding, you are intending to get married very soon, or you have someone who is probably getting married very soon, this is the right channel for you to watch because we update you with current happening as far as wedding preparation is concerned. Like they said, wedding is a day, but that day should be a memorable one because it's once in a life. Welcome back. Like they said, anything that you lack information on can actually cost you a lot. So today we want to quickly look at some of the things that you can actually put in place to minimize cost in the course of preparing for your wedding and actual the wedding proper. The other day we did a video on the six most important thing that takes a larger percentage of your wedding expenses, and today we are doing this video as a sequel to that video. We are looking at how you can minimize cost on those six most important items you will consider on your wedding day. So number one on that list was a hall, because we look at hall is one that's wedding venue, reception venue. We look at it, it takes a lot of money for you to rent a hall, especially in this part of the world. A lot of money, though may not be too high compared to other developed environment, but here there are ways you can actually minimize that cost, and then today we are considering those ways. So number one, as far as reception venue is concerned, you can actually approach your church. Let's say if you are wedding in a church, to use the same venue for your reception. There are some churches that have halls, so you can actually either rent the hall, because I believe the hall will not be as expensive as you going to get event center or other halls to organize your reception. So you can actually do that in your church hall or the premises, church premises. So that simply means the reception will actually take place where the wedding is also taking place. So that will save you a lot of cost, to reduce cost. And if there is no hall there, or the church will not allow you to use the place, if you are wedding in a church, you can actually look for a school around, mostly a private school that have a hall, which I believe the price will not be as high as getting event center. So you can look for a private school that have a hall where they use for assembly and any other event. So you use go there, get there, and negotiate. I believe the price will actually reduce compared to event center. Then another thing you can also do is to look for, in this part of the world we have association. Like for instance, you have Tailor Association of Nigeria, you have all manner of association, and most of those association and cooperative, they have halls which they use for their meeting. So you can actually approach some of those organization or association. Even some village, they have meetings, and most of those meetings they have their permanent halls which they have put in place for such meetings. So you can approach them to rent the hall, and then you discover that the price will be relatively cheaper compared to having an event center for that. And then another thing you should also consider is to rent an open space. An open space will also be very, very okay in terms of price. The price will be relatively lower than getting event hall. So I believe with this you can minimize costs. Next thing is that, for instance, if you are marrying from the east, that's the eastern part of Nigeria, your wife is either from Imo, Abia, Anambra, you can actually minimize costs by arranging or agreeing with your bride's parents. Let the whole thing take place in a day. That's talking about the Bango, that's the traditional wedding, and then the church wedding. Let everything be in one day. So that simply means you go to church in the morning, then when you come back, all you just need is to use the wedding gown, the suit, and every other thing. Take pictures with the cake, and then the bridal train and every other person. And then after, then you change to the traditional attires, where the traditional wedding proper will begin. That serves as a reception and the traditional wedding at the same time. So in other words, the issue of reception venue has been eliminated in terms of cost. So you don't need to go and pay for all, because why? Everything will be done in her father's compound. I think that's another way you can cut cost, if you are looking at how to eliminate reception hall um, cost. So that's another we talked about was dress, that's wedding clothes and accessories. That's another thing that consume a lot of money. So what you can do, you can actually sew the clothes. I think sewing the wedding gown will reduce the cost, or you can rent. And what stops you? If you have a sister, an elderly sister that just wedded or has wedded, or a relative that has wedded, why not? You can approach her to collect the wedding gown, and then you see how you amend it if you don't have the fund to buy new one. So there's nothing stops you from doing that. So you can actually do that, and that will minimize the cost on the wedding gown especially. Then because most people you discover after the wedding day, they don't use the gown again. The gown they don't use for anything. Some persons were meant. This was food and drinks. How do you do that? The one way that I think you should do to minimize cost is to review your guest list. For instance, you don't need to invite the entire city because you want to wed, and it's not everybody that must be on your wedding day. I mean, on your wedding venue. No, no. Some persons after the wedding that they will discover, and they won't sacrifice you for that. You won't be killed for that. So you can review your wedding list, reduce the number of persons that you want them to be at your wedding. Then also, another thing you can do, you can adopt what I call mono dish, that's cooking one type of food instead of having different dishes or having a kind of buffet. So why not go for a mono dish? If it is rice, rice is relatively cheaper. Can go for rice. Let everybody eat rice. Let everybody be served rice. I think that will also help to reduce the cost of food and drinks, and then also get reliable hands, people who understand how to serve in events. That's why sometimes to get an event planner is better, because that's their business. They know how to manage that. Because you go to some events, you discover that they will serve this set of people, and again they will still serve them again, because why? There was no proper coordination. But if you have reliable hands, people who understand the business very well, you discover that no matter how small the food is, it will go around. Because why? There will be proper coordination. Once they start serving, they serve at once, and everybody will get one thing at a time. I think that's another way you can reduce costs on food and drinks. Get reliable hands to do the service for you, and also adapt a mono dish. That's one type of food to be cooked. Then another thing you need to do, number 4 now, is decoration. Decoration takes a lot of money. And one thing you can do to reduce cost as far as decoration is concerned is, if your event, that's a wedding reception, is taking place in an open space, that's a good one. So all you just need to do is to bargain, negotiate with the decorator, just to decorate the bridal seat only. That's the bridal stand where they will have the canopy and the chairs. That's the only place that will be decorated. So every other thing, maybe just cover the table, and that's all. You don't need to cover the chair. So by the time you do that, you discover that the cost will drastically reduce. What you spend on decoration won't be so high. So it just be the chairs, the canopy, that's the bridal canopy, and just that stand only. That will reduce the cost. Then number 5 now is photography. Photography. I told you the other time, you don't need to compromise as far as photography is concerned, because three most important thing as far as wedding is concerned: your spouse, your wedding certificate, and your photography. Because your photography is your souvenir. It serves as your souvenir, a lifetime souvenir, as far as wedding is concerned. 50 years to come, that's what people will see, that you actually enjoyed that day. So photography should not be compromised. But what I advise people, if you don't have the enough fund, what you need to do is to go for a lesser affordable packages. For instance, at G Media, what we do, we have different packages that can accommodate anyone's budget. Whatever your budget is, we have a package that you can actually fit into. So go for affordable package. And but one thing I advise people, get professionals to do your job. We have packages that can suit your taste and your pocket at the same time. So minimize cost by picking package that you can afford to pay. Then number 6, which is the last on the list, we talked about transportation. That's for your in-laws, maybe your parents and your parents in-laws, maybe they are coming from far. Sometimes if they are not very wealthy, you are the one that will fit their fares. I mean, they are either their tickets or the whichever means of transportation that they are going to use from their place to where the wedding will take place. So it's part of the thing that costs a lot. So what we advise people is that number one, make sure you fix your wedding at a place that is either closer to where most people need to spend, where you need to pay fare for the people to attend the wedding. Like if your parents and your parent-in-law in the east and you discover that you don't have much, why not take the wedding down there and then it will be proper, everybody will be fine, everybody will be fine. Then another thing you also do, for instance, hotels. Oh, that's a big one. If you have a place, I know you have a place already, why not dress from home? And then your woman can equally dress from home, because why we advise our client to get hotel is for relaxation, is for environment, especially taking pictures in the morning before going to church and all those things. And then comfort, especially before the wedding days. Better you relax a bit. So, but if you can't afford it, why not dress from home? Even your bride, let her dress from home if you can afford. But if you can afford, you can look for a relatively a cheaper or affordable hotels within the place and then lodge in. And I believe that this video has helped a lot. So thank you. See you. But before we go, make sure you subscribe so that next we drop a video, you'll be the first to get. Thank you. See you.